442 Dudes.
Have you missed us?
Cause we missed you.
We did. Welcome back to the 442 Dudes.
I'm John.
I'm Ben, and he forgot to say dudes. See that?
Oh, dudes.
Exactly. What
Oh
is
my
this
gosh.
going on, huh? But anyway, welcome back to the new show. Don't forget, new season. Not new people, but still the same faces, thankfully. And yes, we'll see you soon for our next one. And it's called
The buying, selling, staying, going.
Sounds different, right?
All right, welcome back, guys. Oh my God, Ben, it's great to be back in the studio once again for this next episode of 442 Dudes. Now, for today's episode, we're going to go a little bit different. Usually, we have a segment called 90-minute...
I don't know anyhow lah.
Well,
for our Chinese listener, if anybody out there, okay.
Yeah, anyway, back to English, Channel 5. Okay, so the first segment we're going to touch on is buying, selling, staying, going. So basically, we're going to focus on all the transfers that took place in this busy summer.
Yeah.
They're still ongoing, by the way. But I think let's focus on some managers first. I mean, managers are still transfers, isn't it?
Yeah,
right?
It is.
Yeah, so because you are the resident Chelsea fan and everything, so and you obviously had a new manager. So what are your thoughts as a Chelsea fan?
I think just to sum it up, again, I've said it before in last season. I'm not really a big fan of him coming over. No, I'm not a big. I told you last season.
I thought you said you're not a big fan of Chelsea.
No.
I was like, oh my God,
hey. Anyway, so really, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan, but I can see things going forth with the way he conducts himself, the interview. I think just with one pre-season friendly with Wrexham, that kind of shows the sort of setup he's going for. There was a video of him, on the field shouting tactical instructions and all that. So I kind of appreciate that because we get to see that side of him. But you know what? I don't have full faith in him yet, but it's growing. And I'm going to say it right here, right now. Similar to how I didn't really find Tuchel amazing, I'm going to find Poch.
Whoa. Yeah. You didn't find Tuchel
when
amazing.
he first came in, I didn't find him amazing at all.
You were waxing lyrical about him all the time.
Exactly, which is why when he first came in, I didn't find anything amazing. Slowly, he kind of changed my mind. And I think Poch is going to do the same thing. So hopefully you do the same thing. Don't be a Potter. Otherwise,
don't be a Potter, be a Pocher.
Yeah, I just be a Poch.
Pochettino.
Just be a Poch. But yeah, that's my thought on managers. And I think managers play a huge role when they are labelled as manager. That's just my take. But we'll talk more later about that.
Now, speaking about labeling as being managers, I think the next slide we want to talk about is something which, when I first saw it, I was actually quite angry. I think you saw my reaction.
What are you angry about?
I mean, for those of you who are not sure what we were talking about, I'm actually speaking about Tottenham Hotspurs, right? So Spurs actually just appointed Ange Postecoglou, the Australian manager.
Well, not bad, I can pronounce.
Of course, I did my research.
He did.
Yes. Now, his reputation is brilliant. So all the Aussies are praising him and all. And I did my research, right, as I mentioned. So wherever he has been, he has been winning championships.
Oh, for every club, huh?
Every single club that he has been at.
Wow.
Yes. In the Aussie League, in the Japanese League, in the Scottish League, even the national team. He actually won Australia's first Asian Cup. So everywhere that he has been winning trophies.
So he's a proven winning
He's a proven winner.
Okay.
So similar to Conte, similar to Mourinho. So I think it makes sense for Spurs to hire him.
Yeah.
But likewise with Mourinho and Conte, I think Spurs will be his only club that he will never win a trophy. And here's my reason why.
Okay, why?
Because his position is head coach.
Oh, no shit, really?
His position is head coach.
Okay.
So what does head coach mean? You're just going to focus on the first team and that's it.
Right.
He has no say in transfers. He has no say in what goes on behind the scenes, and that's my take. Why? Because there's a bloody control freak right up there in the high towers, taking control of everything. And this is where I feel that.
And that's Spurs for you.
Yeah, it's typical Spurs. So did they do any change? No, they just changed the manager.
Right.
But the way they're being run is exactly the same. I mean, if Daniel Levy is such a control freak, if he wants Spurs to do well, he needs to let go.
Not micromanage.
Exactly.
Okay,
why are you micromanaging?
Don't micromanage the thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's so freaking irritating. And then speaking about the owners and all, I mean, what's happening with the Glazers, right? So there were talks that United's going to sell. Glazers are going to sell United to the Qataris. Jim Ratcliffe is all.
Yeah, Jim Ratcliffe.
Suddenly, there's no news, right? So I mean, what's up with them, man? They're just playing hardball and everything. Bloody Americans.
Oh dear. But speaking of Americans, though, I have to
why?
pull this one. That's quite familiar. And now you mentioned Chelsea about me earlier. Now Chelsea went up against Wrexham, and
yes.
yeah. I mean, you know,
5-0.
you had like the we're talking about owners, right?
We
mentioned this also last season. I think the people behind Wrexham itself, you know, from just the players to everyone, the fans, and even the owners. I think they've done a fantastic job putting Wrexham on the map. Oh, yeah, they've done a great job in doing that, and that's the kind of ownership we want to see. Just making sure that using your influence, using whatever resources you have, you can put that football club on the map.
I think it's not just about the resources.
Yeah.
I mean, resources is something what you have, but what you do with those resources.
Oh no, that's
and
true.
Not just that. I think what's something that we can all learn from them is that is how they learned how to embrace right the game, the passion, the city, the culture, and just embrace the whole town.
I think if we may just put it like, I think it's fans first, then business later. I think that's how Wrexham has been born out of.
And I think that's the way it should be, right? That's how how they should be run. American knows nuts about all these things. And fun fact, Ryan Reynolds is not American, he's Canadian, and that's why he's doing it right. Oh well. Anyway, so I mean that was the owners and everything. Back to Spurs again. I think Ange wise, he's had a good squad.
Okay.
But what he's going to be dealing with right now, I think the biggest question on his mind would be: is Harry Kane going to Bayern Munich?
Right.
Yeah, but according to articles, he is planning for next season with Kane in mind. He is planning for next season with Kane in mind, which is on the contrary to Bayern Munich. Mane is no longer in the plans for next season. So I feel very sad, speaking about Mane in this way. But
former Liverpool.
Right. The rumor has it he's considering joining Ronaldo at Al Nassr.
I mean, Saudi's the thing, right? Everyone's going Saudi.
Yeah. So well, anyway, in the Premier League, there's another team that appointed a new manager. So Bournemouth appointed a new manager. His name is Andoni Iraola. Right. So he's Spanish. So this is something that puzzles me because Gary O'Neill did a fantastic job for Bournemouth last season, to the point where some people were calling him to be shortlisted for the manager of the season. But alas, he was sacked by Bournemouth, and they actually brought in a Spanish manager who doesn't have a great record wherever he's been. He has been a manager of 3 teams with an average winning percentage of 40%. Oh. Yes, so I have no idea why. His first time in the league, Bournemouth is not a fantastic team, to be honest, and I don't know. I'm going to put it out here. I think he's going to be among the first, or if not the first manager to be sacked.
I mean, they're not burn mouth, they're now burn money because they hired someone and probably wasted money.
Maybe lah.
Yeah.
They got money to burn, but
burn money.
Not as much money as
Saudi. Just gonna go there.
So those were the managers and the movements in the Premier League. So let's move on to the players then. So which transfer caught your eye the most?
Transfer?
Yes.
Let me think. There are so many in mind.
So what caught your mind?
There's so many, but I'll tell you what caught my eye. I'll tell you what caught my eye.
What?
Oddly enough, of all the things, it would be again, I can't remember the Korean guy name, but the one that went over to Bayern Munich.
Kim Min-jae.
Yes. I think he caught my eye because I saw the interview when he was training and everything, and I think it was the social media person behind the camera went up to him and he said something was asked, but he said, "Oh, I'm very shy." So I just thought that kind of caught my eye because I don't know.
He's super shy.
Yeah, just. My God, that's good, huh? In case you didn't get that, that's John's latest obsession with new jeans. But in any case,
it's not an obsession. Hello, don't make me sound like a pedophile.
But yeah, I mean,
he's going viral on TikTok. That's why I'm just saying it.
Okay. But let's go back to him.
Oh my God.
No, really, I think it's quite interesting because you would have thought that he's going to talk a lot. He's going to be very proud, but he just said he's just shy. And to me, that's humility. That's humility. You're going to go there again, lah. I tell you, he likes the song so much.
Because he's
he's super shy. Oh, goodness, this one.
sorry, back to players.
It's okay, yeah. So I think he caught my eye.
Okay.
Yeah, what about you?
For me, definitely Arsenal's transfers.
The Thailand rice.
Yeah, not Thailand, the English rice. The most expensive brand of rice in the whole wide world. $105 million.
Exactly, more expensive
not
than
dollars, pounds. Sorry, pounds.
The basmati rice that I got nearby, Tampines. So.
Oh, this rice is much better.
I mean,
this is called a 特卡人 rice.
What?
I'm sorry. Sorry, guys.
A new season, so our personality.
No, anyway,
kinda
football,
upgraded.
football. Back to football. I think Arsenal's. Every
okay.
season, people there's this unspoken award where we award a club with the best transfer
Yeah.
award. So I think in this case, Arsenal won it. Rice was brought in to replace Xhaka. Granit Xhaka. Xhaka actually went to Leverkusen back to Germany. So in my opinion, it's definitely an upgrade. I believe everybody agrees with me there's an upgrade, right? A younger one, English, is a fantastic player. They brought in Kai Havertz from Chelsea. I think Kai is going to fly at Arsenal because Chelsea doesn't know how to use him. We spoke about using the right tools, right? You can own a Lamborghini, but I don't know how to drive. It's useless and all. So I think it's going to be fantastic. Then they bought the Timber guy.
The Timber guy.
So I think Arsenal is going to be fantastic this season.
Okay.
But having said that,
but there's a but.
Yes.
Okay, and
having said that, I still don't think that they will win the championship lah. But that's something for later. Yeah. So for me, Arsenal is the key. And yeah, I just think Arsenal won it lah. Is there any other clubs that you want to?
I don't say clubs. I just say league. Saudi. I mean, they're just bringing everybody. They're bringing everybody. But I tell you who also, and I think it's very underrated. But people are only picking it up because recently they've been acquiring all of the Barca players. But it's Inter Miami.
Yes.
So I thought they're doing a good job as well. Yeah, I mean, kudos to Beckham.
It's like the Barcelona retirement home.
I mean, it sounds like it already. So almost the same color. I mean, pink, but yeah.
What's pink got to do with retirement?
I mean, the color, the kit color
why
of Barca. No, you said almost like Barca. So I said, pink, purple, almost the same. Never mind. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, Inter Miami was one of them. I'm wearing pink also.
That's like totally out. It's not even relevant. It's not
Inter
very relevant.
Miami, wow, Sergio Busquets. But yeah, I think really, if anything, yeah, these are my best transfers. I tell you, no. I must say, the best transfer to me is Steven Gerrard.
Why?
Because when he moved over, his Scottish accent, saying that team's name, I'll tell you, hilarious that one.
Say it.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it.
Say it.
I don't have the accent.
Say it.
You say it.
I have no idea. Say it.
I also no idea.
I know it sounds wrong, but just say it. Come on.
I'm not Scottish. I don't know how to do his accent.
Gerrard is Scouse. He's not Scottish. Get your facts right.
I don't know. I'm not a Liverpool fan.
You don't have to be a Liverpool fan to know that Gerrard is Scouse. Oh my God, are you even a football fan?
I'm not.
Goodness gracious me.
I'm a just don't Liverpool fan.
So anything but Liverpool lah.
No lah. Liverpool still okay.
But you're ABU lah.
Yeah lah. But don't call me Abu. Okay, anyway.
So Abu, what else you want to talk about, Abu?
No, I think really we've covered everything that we want. I think really now I just want to say this. I just want to focus on influence now.
Yeah.
I think with all the transfers that are happening, influence has been a very huge factor.
Yes.
It doesn't matter which league you are at. We talk about Saudi. You have Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, hate him or love him. Look at what he has done. Look at how many players have moved over to
He's
the Saudi.
the real influencer.
Look at people like Lionel Messi. One move, boom. Inter Miami is getting it. MLS is getting back on track. They're kind of fallen off.
Really? Do you think they're really back on track?
I think they're gonna, for Inter Miami, the eyes are gonna be back there. Because people are gonna watch their soccer. So I feel they're gonna come back on track. Yeah, and people like Wrexham as well. So things like that is gonna help push it up. That's my opinion of influence. Yeah. So I think based on everything that's buying, selling, staying, going, I think the influence matters, and with that it impacts the morale of the club.
Okay.
Yeah. So influence. Let us know. If influence is really very important because it is in my opinion.
Or in your opinion, which club has the best transfers this season?
Correct.
Or even if you didn't mention your clubs or a player that you thought, hey, should be mentioned, a little bit underrated, let us know in the comments.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that wraps up the first segment of this buying, selling, staying and going. And for the next segment, we will be sharing with you our predictions for the upcoming season. What's the name of the segment, Ben?
Sixth Sense. And welcome back to this part, and I hope you've been missing it. It's called Sixth Sense. We give you our predictions, on leagues now. I think this one we're going to give you on leagues now, on who we think are going to be our champions, top four, and in fact, who's going to say bye-bye and get relegated. So, John, I'm going to go first lah.
I'll go first. I'm curious to what you have.
I'm again, based on last year's stats, and last season as well. I've been always praising them, and based on what they have, I think they have it going. On the EPL side, I'm going to say the champions will still remain Manchester City.
Oh my God.
That's my take on it. I think they're still going to remain. Going to have a close fight though, but they will be champions still.
Okay.
In my top four, joining Man City, I'll say Chelsea. It's one of them. Man United and Liverpool.
Wow.
Yeah, so those are my top four. Who I think will be relegated. This one to me, I thought about it quite long, to be very fair.
Really? Okay.
I think Sheffield likely will be relegated. I think Nottingham Forest is also going to be relegated. And I also think Burnley as well.
Okay.
So those three are my take.
Okay, I have two questions for you.
Come.
Where's Arsenal?
I don't see Arsenal there. I'll tell you why. Because United now, they're going to bolster their squad. Onana's coming in.
United's going to bolster their squad.
They're already bolstering their squad.
Two players.
I mean, with two players, they've got their young talents coming back in as well. And with the
who are the young talents again?
I don't know. I tell you, as long as I'm not a fan of your club, I don't really care. But they have talents.
Enough said.
Yeah, they have talents. They have talents. But I think what United has is that they have gotten rid of who they think they should have gotten rid of. I think when they had De Gea was a little bit floppy here and there.
Floppy.
He wasn't really, he's
Sorry.
not really, he could erect sometimes, but other times he's flaccid. No, that the performance was just like that. And then you have people like Harry Maguire,
so accurate.
who they felt that he shouldn't be captain, he shouldn't be this, he shouldn't be that. But guess what?
He has been stripped of the captaincy.
Yeah, correct. But there was a video right after stripping him that they said, holy cow.
Can you add on?
Yeah.
Stripping him off the captaincy.
Yeah, okay, stripping him
Don't leave
off
it there,
the
please.
captaincy. Goodness, this guy, yeah. But in any case, so to me, after that, they posted a video and they said, oh, look at him. When we got him his first match, he was solid. We should have gotten him continuously at that state. But in any case, his captaincy got rid of. But I want to say a short note though.
Yes.
I think he was very, I don't know what the word I should put, humble, polite or whatever. When he got the captaincy removed, I think he was very gentleman about it.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, fair play to him.
He gave a little
I'll
Instagram
have
post
to
or
agree
something.
with that.
So I thought that one I got to give a thumbs up to him.
Okay.
No matter what people are saying about him. Yeah, so I think that's why United's going to fight for that top four, but not first.
Okay.
No, not first lah.
So
Then we go to Liverpool. I think Liverpool, you've been getting your players as well. You got a new guy whose name I cannot pronounce also, the D one.
I'll
you can pronounce later.
Yes.
So I think good addition. I think because Nunez was just just not getting the thing pregnant lah. Was just always not going in, in my opinion. So then they needed to bolster it even more.
We have young fans watching,
Never mind, just getting it in. Okay, so to me it's
teaching them life lessons.
When Liverpool wanted to strengthen that, and they are doing that, and I think Klopp now is kind of frustrated. I think if you look at this interview, you can sense. I feel from a third party point of view.
Okay.
He's always getting there, and he's sick and tired of always pep. He wants to be Klopp, like all the way there, So that's why I feel. Chelsea, on the other hand, I'm biased. This one, I'm not even afraid to say so. I think Chelsea will be top four because I think we have nothing to fight for already. We only have EPL. So we're going to focus, a lot on the EPL for our French people.
Okay.
We're going to focus on the EPL. Focus a lot. So yeah. And therefore I think, with Poch, and I do believe he has a system going on. I'm not sure why he called Dele Alli, which I just want to mention very briefly. I think he's such a warrior for coming out in that interview. We're going to give props to Gary Neville as well for conducting that interview. I thought that was a brilliant one. But days before that, Poch also mentioned he called Ali up.
Say Dele.
I don't want to say Dele, I just say Ali lah. Dele Ali.
He doesn't want to be known by his surname.
Okay, then Dele
anyway,
Ali. I mean, his name is there, so Dele Ali lah. So anyway,
I don't call you Leo, right? I call you Ben.
You do call me Leo sometimes lah. But anyway, okay, the point is he called Dele Ali. So, I thought that was a very nice gesture as well. Except a bit sus, because, you call him, but is he coming to Chelsea? So, yeah. So then now I'm going to tell you why the three of them are going to be relegated. Just a very quick one.
That was my second question, actually.
I think Sheffield, for all good reasons, last season, they were kind of there. They were kind of like up, down. They had their high and low. But to me, they don't seem to be a force to be reckoned with. I don't know. I don't see it last season. I don't really see it this season, but I could be proven wrong. I look at Forest. I think Forest, they tried bringing in experience. We know that didn't really work for them. Jesse Lingard obviously didn't really work out for them most of the time. So
Sorry.
yeah.
I didn't mean to laugh.
Anyway, so I think Forest just still need that touch, but I don't see it yet in the signing.
Okay.
Yeah, and Burnley, I think Burnley. I mean, I mentioned before Vincent Kompany, a disciple of Pep, but this is where the Premier League is different from the Championship. So while you have the skills of what you have gotten from Pep, but I don't know if your players are going to adapt quickly to the Premier League.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why that's my take. Yeah. I'll talk about the other leagues later, but let's hear from your EPL one.
Yeah, so Kai, don't mind, just put up the screen again on my predictions, and there you have it. So, I just want to put it out there. I'm a Liverpool fan, and the reason why I put Liverpool is because I think that this season's listen. I see a lot of people shaking their heads here and there, and shake. Okay, but let me explain to you why. So, this season, I feel there's going to be a very, very close fight between a lot of teams. It's anybody's game, to be very frank with you. And I feel that in my top four, Liverpool, Man City, Manchester United, and Arsenal, I feel it's between these four. It would definitely be between these four, but I think Liverpool kind of just edges it. They kind of just edge it out in terms of experience, in terms of quality. And why I don't think City is going to win this season is because there's been so many changes to City. Their main engine, right? KDB is kind of declining already. I think everybody can see that. It was declining in the last 2 seasons or so. Mahrez is gone. Mahrez has gone to
Bernardo
Saudi. Silva and Walker are both unsettled, right? Silva might be going to Saudi. Walker might be going to Bayern. And they didn't really bring in any players. They brought in Kovacic. They brought in Guardiola. Not Guardiola. Yeah. The Croatian defender. 2 of them. Yeah, that's about it. I think if City really wants to shine, it's really Cole Palmer's time to shine this season. Phil Foden, he's of the age where he's considered a senior player, but as much as I love Foden as a player and all, I think he's too inconsistent to carry City, to take over KDB's mantle. And knowing that City has already won it all last season, and this is probably Pep's last season, I think, I don't know, I just feel that his enthusiasm won't be there. So I don't think City is going to win it. As for United and Arsenal, let's talk about United first. United, De Gea, they left. They released him on a free transfer. They brought in Onana. I think that was a fantastic upgrade. I'm nothing against De Gea. I think he's a fantastic player, especially for Liverpool. But over the last few seasons, he has been like what you said, flaccid . Yeah, he's very inconsistent. Despite him winning the Golden Glove last season, but I think he has lost United more points than he has won them points last season, or at least over the last 2 seasons. And they signed Mason Mount, but I still think they are missing a lot of people. The Matt Fred is still there. It's a problem area for them. They don't really have a striker right now. I know there are rumors that they may be buying Rasmus Højlund. All right, so if he comes in, then maybe they might be doing well. But other than that, I don't see them seriously mounting a title challenge. See why I did that?
Mounting, huh?
Yeah. And then as for Arsenal, they are very young. They are very young. I think, yes, they'll be more experienced, but I still think it'll take them at least 2 to 3 years before they can win the Premier League. That's just my take. So that's my take for the top 4. With regards to relegation, to be honest, similar to you, I really thought about it for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
But these are my candidates for relegation. All right. Actually, to be honest, I think there are 6 teams that can be considered for relegation. But I decided to go with these 3. So let's start at Bournemouth. I mentioned earlier about the manager. And also, for me, that's kind of like given. I don't think their quality is not there at all. I think they will go down. They only brought in Justin Kluivert, son of the legendary Patrick, but he's not good. He was in Roma last season. He's a striker. For a striker to score single-digit goals on don't know how many seasons, it's not even a good striker, in my opinion. Right? So Bournemouth definitely down. Luton, I think it's quite obvious they're going to go now, so I won't go there. As for Everton, people may be saying I'm biased and all, but if you look at the transfers for Everton this season, the only player they have signed so far is a 38-year-old has-been in Ashley Young.
Okay.
And the players that they have released, okay, let me just look at the thing. They have released Andros Townsend, they have released Yari Mina, they have released Tom Davies, Bergovic. That's 4 senior players, right? In 4 main positions. And they only brought in Ashley Young, a 38-year-old has-been. Right, I'm really keeping my fingers crossed, hoping that Dele Alli will be revitalized.
Oh yeah.
If he can be revitalized, I mean, in the interview again, well done to Dele Alli. I was very proud of him to share his story. I really hope this season comes good for him. And if he can come good, I think that's literally a new signing for Everton. So if that happens, great, So because of the signings that took place, I think Everton are probably one of those that are going to be going down again. The other three teams that I mentioned, I just want to bring up Wolves and West Ham. I think West Ham are in trouble. They lost Rice. They released Lanzini. They have no replacement. So let's see what happens in the next transfer window. So if they don't replace any of them, then goodbye to West Ham, right? Wolves are also very very vulnerable. Right, they lost a lot of players. They lost Cody. Cody went to Leicester. Collins went to Brentford. Neves obviously went to Saudi. Moutinho retired. And they didn't replace them. There's no significant signing. So to me, that's also another telltale. So I think there are a lot of candidates for relegation, in my opinion. So, but I think that these three teams that I mentioned are probably favourites to go down. Yeah, that's just me.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So what about the other leagues?
Well, I think the other leagues now, I mean, looking at our graphic already, we kind of agreed on La Liga. We both agreed it will be Real Madrid.
Yes.
We kind of agreed as well on the Bundesliga. It will be Bayern Munich. But the Serie A, that's where we are a little bit different.
Serie A.
Yeah, I want to say A. Yeah. So Serie A, a bit different. Why?
Continue.
No, I'm asking why yours different.
Oh, you asking me why Milan?
Yeah lah.
Oh. So for Napoli, right? So in Napoli's case, as you mentioned, the biggest transfer that caught your eye, right, was Kim Min-jae's move to Bayern, right?
Yeah.
So Napoli lost a linchpin in their defense. They didn't really properly replace him.
Okay.
Right? So that's one down. And they also changed managers.
Yeah.
So Luciano Spalletti left. He decided to go on for a gap year.
Holiday.
Right? Yeah, holiday. So he left Napoli. And they replaced him with Rudi Garcia. So for those of you who do not know, Rudi Garcia last managed Al Nassr. So he actually got into an argument with Cristiano Ronaldo and he was basically asked to leave. Yeah, so if you look at Rudi Garcia's track record, it's not really fantastic. So I don't see Napoli doing well this season because of these two reasons. AC Milan, on the other hand, they signed quite a few players. I think their core remains there. It remains strong. The manager didn't change, but they added on Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Oh yeah, they did.
They bought Christian Pulisic. I think there's rumor that Origi is leaving to West Ham, if I'm not wrong.
Oh.
I think so. In terms of the rumors, Origi has probably secured a move to West Ham, but he didn't really do much in Milan last season. So I feel that Milan will probably be a strong contender this season for the Serie A. Yeah. So why Napoli then?
Well, I think for me, it's I think it's about, like I said, Man City is the one that they want to be consistent, and I think Napoli is going to do the same thing. They do want to keep that consistency. While understanding that there's a change of manager, they kind of lost, in your opinion, is the linchpin of the defense. But I think they still have what it takes to sort of be aggressive, and it's kind of different in their league anyway. So I don't think their league is more dependent on defense. It's more on the attacking side. That's just what I feel. They're more on the attacking side. I like the EPL where it's more balanced. One can say that, but they have strong defenders, but that's the thing. They're more physical. So even if they lost this linchpin that you said, I think they just have to replace it with another guy who's also able to withstand the physical threat. And
they're not bringing anybody in.
I know, but
there are no rumors of it.
No rumors. But I mean, we won't know who they might be bringing. There's still time. But yeah, they still have what it takes to attack. So I see them struggling for the first bit of the season, but I see them just coming back. And I think Milan is going to excel in the first part of the season, but they'll drop because we've seen that happen last season. Okay. Yeah. So those are my take.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so we're just in terms of other leagues, we're just going to focus on these three because I think these are the four major leagues in Europe. I don't think the other leagues would be worth mentioning.
Notice we never talk about the French.
We never talk about the French league. Never talk about the Portuguese league. We never talk about the Eredivisie, everything because hey, I think another league is slowly up and coming, right? I don't know. Well, anyway, so that's for another segment called the What's What and Who's Who. So stay tuned for the next segment.
Welcome for the next segment we call
What's What? Who's Who?
And so welcome back. Really, I think this is the part where we are bringing you, things that happens all around the globe. Not just things, but interesting ones. And therefore, John is going to start with the first interesting thing, which is...
I don't think it's interesting, but
really, yeah.
I think it's a hot topic.
Yeah, okay.
Right, which is Saudi Arabia. I think it's almost criminal if we don't speak about this.
Yeah,
don't you think so?
I mean, it's everywhere in the news.
Yeah, but I shouldn't use the word criminal, but because the question I'm going to ask right now is, are Saudis sport washing football right now?
Is that what you think? Do you feel that way?
It feels that way. Why? Because Saudi has already taken over the golf sport, the sport of golf rather. They recently announced the merger with PGA. So for those of golf fans out there, I mean, you know that you probably already know this news, right? So PGA has really merged with LIV. So they are basically taking over the world of sport, golf rather. And now it's very obvious that they're doing the same with football. Who knows what they're going to do next? They might be targeting F1 or even tennis next and all. But for now, because we are a football podcast, right? So we'll just focus on the football matters. Yeah. So why do I say that sport washing football? It's because, I mean, let's just go back to the definition of sport washing. Sport washing is really basically using money to cover up some of your indiscretions and stuff. So I mean, Saudis are accused of, not just Saudi, I think the Qataris are also accused of human rights violations, and freedom of speech, the lack of freedom of speech, discrimination against females, so on and so forth. I mean, I don't really want to go too much into all those things. It's going to get very political. It can get quite sensitive. But I think it's a question that has been asked in many areas. Various articles, various pundits also have been touching on this topic. So I don't know, but if you were to think from a player's perspective, right? If you were let me just ask you, Ben.
Sure.
I mean, we both of us belong to the 20s and the 30s group, right? We are similar ages with the current players right now. So if you were in their position, if you were a player, would you consider a move to Saudi?
Well, okay, I think the circumstances do matter. So if I am a player with family, depending on me for certain needs and financial needs, then I think that will be an important factor. Because to me, I mean, whatever promises of goal and all that, the end of it is, I'm being here as a professional footballer. It's not just for me to enjoy the sport, but I think it's also to bring some sort of promises to the family, in terms of giving them a good life, ensuring that they're well educated, especially children, and the wife gets whatever she needs, that sort of thing. Same can go for the women's football, for the husband. But in this case, I think, I would say yes. I'll just go because I think, okay, this is where family puts in place as priority. And especially if you're late 20s and early 30s, then Saudi should be a good destination. But if you're someone that really focuses on what football is all about, then no.
What do you mean by that? Can you elaborate
that means,
on that?
For someone who's, they have passion for the club. They're always kissing the club's badge, They're like, I grew up as this, from this academy. Now I'm still playing for the club. I'm going to be a club legend. Then I would think you should stay. That's just me. Because you're already a club legend. Just remain at the club. But, I think like.
I mean, at the end of the day, you are also earning a very decent amount of money, right? Wherever you are right now. It's just that when you go to Saudi, your salary is kind of like quadrupled, right?
And I think just for a little factor to consider, they have to prepare the difference in culture.
Yes.
Yeah. So if they can't take that, then, it's going to affect them.
Yeah. So speaking of the difference in culture, I mean, there has been discussions going on about the players that actually went to Saudi Arabia. So again, I was just looking through online, and I was just counting the number of players that have since joined the Saudi clubs. No, there seems to be a lot. In fact, the actual number of players who have joined Cristiano in Saudi after Ronaldo, the number currently stands at 14.
Wow.
14 players. 14 players and 1, 2, 3 coaches. So there's this. When I talk about these players, I'm talking about prominent players. Players with a certain standing in the football world. All right. So who are they? I mean, just for just to share with you guys, right?
Yeah.
To sum up a list for Al Ahly, right? Al Ahly has Edouard Mendy. They just recently confirmed the signing of Riyad Mahrez. They signed Firmino. And the next rumor is going to be, at the time of the post, probably is already confirmed, Alan Saint-Maximin, or Saint-Maximin, or rather, is going to be joining Al Ahly. And for Al Ittihad, Karim Benzema is already there, Kante is there, Fabinho is just, Fabinho is there, and another player called Jota is there. So there's 4 players each for those 2 teams. Al Hilal has signed Koulibaly, Ruben Neves, and Milinkovic-Savic. Al Nasser, Marko Brozovic, rather. And Alex Telles has joined Ronaldo at Al Nasser. And last but not least, Hendo. And Jordan Henderson has joined Steven Gerrard at Al Ittifaq. So, and the other 2 managers who are in Saudi, obviously, is Nuno Espirito Santo and Slaven Bilic, who recently joined Al Fateh. Santo is actually the manager of Al Ittihad. So, there are 2 others. Jorge Jesus, I think I pronounced it correctly. Jorge Jesus is the manager of Al Hilal. So those who are not familiar with who he is, he's actually a veteran coach, but he is also a champion with Sporting and Benfica. The next rumored manager is going to Saudi is actually Marco Silva, currently Fulham's manager. He is currently... I think he's in negotiations, I suppose, for Al Ahly. Okay. So Al Ahly, as I mentioned, they have Mendy, Mahrez, Firmino, and Saint-Maximin. I think what's more interesting is players who are in their 20s going over. So that's why I asked the question, because there are 4 players who are in their 20s, in their prime.
Wow.
Going to Saudi, and who are they? Alan Saint-Maximin, Jota is 24, Maximin is 26, Ruben Neves is 26, Milinkovic-Savic is 28. The rest of the players that we mentioned, they're all 30 and above. Right, but you mentioned about the culture and all. So culture. I think for some players, like especially like Mendy, Karim, Kante, Koulibaly, they are Muslim, right? So I think Saudi is predominantly a Muslim country. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? But I think Saudi Arabia is predominantly a Muslim country. So for them to go there, I think kind of makes sense, right? For the rest, I'm not so sure. But that being said, I don't know, because it's like what you mentioned, right? From a personal perspective, it makes sense to go there. But if you look at the bigger picture, and especially from Henderson's perspective, right? This is where I think the people online, or rather the fans out there, are split on this. There are people who are agreeing with Henderson's decision to go there, but there are people questioning his decision. Why? Because Henderson has been a very, very, very strong and vocal supporter of all the movements of footballs for everyone, the rainbow movements and stuff. But yet he's going to a country that supposedly is oppressing humans and females and so on and so forth. So. I don't know. To me, that kind of, I guess that's where it leads to the question of whether Saudi is spot washing. They're trying to cover up all these indiscretions and stuff. But I don't know. I feel that at the end of the day, right, it's really about personal. It's down to your own personal objectives. So I don't fault the players for going there, because if I were to ask myself the question right now, if I'm a player, I mean, I'm around Ronaldo's age, right? So would I go there, knowing that I can probably retire in like 2 years' time, and I can literally live to maybe 100 years without worrying about my finances? I'll probably do that, no? Because ultimately, life after football is family. Yeah. Right? So family always comes first, at least for me. And I believe it's the same for most of you out there. Right? So... yeah, I mean, I just find it's an interesting topic to talk about.
There's no proper answer to answer that question.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so what do you guys think? I mean, I'm really curious to hear what you guys think. What are your thoughts? Now, the question again is, if you were a player, right, in your 20s and your 30s, I mean, most of you are in your 20s and your 30s, right? Would you consider a move to Saudi Arabia, knowing that your salary is going to be at least quadrupled? And I say at least quadrupled because it can be a lot higher than that.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah,
so And the next one, I think, we talk a lot about the whole focus on the Saudi league and all that. But I think one focus also, and again, I'm just saying this only because I'm a Chelsea fan.
Yeah.
I've seen not just the Chelsea's men's football team growing in popularity.
Yep.
I think the women's team is also doing quite well.
I agree.
And I've been also following Chelsea's women's football team. I think Hayes is, I cannot pronounce the surname, Hayes.
Hayes.
Yeah, Hayes. She's been doing a very good job in my
Emma
opinion.
Hayes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I saw an interview with her recently. I saw the way she was trying to motivate the players. I think that's something we've been missing, And I've seen Singapore. I just saw this. I've seen Singapore go up against Pakistan, and they were a women's team as well.
Oh,
and,
you watched the game?
Yeah,
Wow!
I watched the game because I also announced the game.
Fantastic.
But I thought the game was great because you could see that the passion was there. And sorry, I have to say this. I really have to say this. They had more passion on the field than our men's football team.
Oh, for sure, I believe. For sure.
So from there, I think there is a rise in football's in the world of football. Women's stature is just rising up.
Definitely.
In terms of games, I think they've included now. It's called, don't know what's the name now, but it was in FIFA, and then I think they're going to include it in their new game. But again, I forgot the name of the new one. They're no longer called FIFA, but they're called, I think, EAFC or something like that, but they're including women's now. Now you can also play the women team. So what are your thoughts then? Because very interestingly enough, we've also seen a video that you shared with us.
Yes, before I speak about the video and all, I think the reason why we wanted to bridge this topic about the rise of women's stature is because recently, just last month, if I'm not wrong, there was a very big hoo-ha, in the football world where Forest Green, which is a League 2 team in the English football league system, they actually appointed Hannah Dingley, the first female to
coach a men's team,
to coach the men's first team in a professional team. So that actually became a very, very hot topic. But as of now, of the time of recording, she was appointed as a caretaker, right?
Temporarily, okay.
Temporarily, yeah. And as the time of recording and all, they have already since hired a man.
Okay.
Another man, his name is David Horsman. He's actually the Southampton B team manager. It was good while it lasted, but I think it's a great step forward for female football. We got, in recent times, we talk about, racism, say no to racism. Racism is still very much talked about in football, but I also feel that there should not be any room for sexism.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Right. And, if you're good enough, you definitely deserve the chance. So Hannah Dingley, she holds a UEFA Pro license.
Oh wow.
Right. So if you're not wondering what this pro license is all about, it is basically the highest accolade,
the
highest thing. So you need this. So people like Pleb. So what Pleb? He ploop really. He's going to ploop and plop this season.
Like
so Pep, Klopp.
Yeah, I think you mixed up Klopp and Pep, so become Plop, Pleb.
So if Pep and Klopp, maybe you could call Pleb.
Yeah, that's why. Oh dear Lord.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So they hold the equivalent, right? You have pro license. So if you're good enough, you do deserve the chance, right? So that's what I feel. And you mentioned about Emma Hayes earlier. I still remember when Chelsea were undergoing the shits that they did in the doldrums before they appointed Lampard as the caretaker manager. There were actually calls for Emma Hayes to take charge of the Chelsea. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
So there are people out there who are kind of on board. Not females, men who are on board with the idea of having
a female,
a female lead. Because if you're good enough, you're good enough.
Let's just sidetrack a bit. We've also seen female referees officiating a men's game as well. So
if you were to go sidetrack even further out of football, there are a lot more female leaders in the world right now. Your prime ministers and all that taking charge, and they're probably doing a better job than most women, isn't it? Case in point, Jessica Ardern of New Zealand, right? The way she handled the COVID situation and all. So if you're good enough, you're good enough. Right, so speaking of New Zealand and all, for those of you that do not know, the female FIFA World Cup is happening right now in Australia and New Zealand.
Oh.
Yes, they just started this week.
Okay.
With 32 teams as well. Obviously the front runners will be England, USA, they're their favorites and all, and the European teams. But I'm actually going to keep a lookout for the Asian teams.
All right.
There are 5 Asian teams there.
Okay, who might it be?
Named for the Philippines.
Philippines. Okay.
Japan, China, Vietnam, and South Korea. Yeah, so realistically speaking, probably only Japan and South Korea will probably do well. But regardless,
Asian represent.
And I'm especially rooting for Vietnam and Philippines because we are the 442 dudes from Singapore. Singapore is from Southeast Asia. And yeah, I want to support our fellow ASEAN neighbors, right? Yeah, so
it's true.
Correct. And then you mentioned about the video again. Sorry, what is it?
No, you're talking about, I think there was a video, I think it was a commercial, if I'm not wrong. So it's like a France commercial where they sort of deep fake their France male athletes into the female athlete body. Then you were watching it, and as you're watching it, you would have thought it was the actual male. The France team.
Yes.
Then after that, at the end, they give you this little, what's that word? Twist. A plot twist. A plot twist, and it's actually the women's team.
Wow. Yeah. So if you guys have not watched the video, please go. We'll put a link down in the description below so that you can watch the video. It's on YouTube as well. But yeah, Ben basically summarized it all. It's fantastic. I thought it was genius. It's genius. And I think it was supposed to be advertisement for the female World Cup also.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Then it's great marketing.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the standard in the highlights, you look at the standard of football, you will really think it was the men's team. Yeah, so I'm like, wow. For once, deepfake was good. Anyway.
Oh, I mean, good way. But yeah, I think really, outside of the world of football, outside from the usual leagues and all that, we've covered Saudi Arabia. We've mentioned about the women's stature. We've also mentioned how it's increasing. Like how the France recognize that, hey, our women's team are not too bad, but let's do a little deep fake and see what people think. And people are surprised. So, and again, from last season till today, we've been saying that this is what football should be.
Yes.
It's about embracing what football is.
Correct.
The passion, the enthusiasm behind it. So yeah.
And football for everyone.
It is.
Really everyone.
Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't matter your color, your gender, whatever.
Exactly. So, I know everyone's saying no to racism, but I think we should say no to sexism as well. Definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. Right. So
we should have we'll have a 442 dudes and dudette one day.
Yeah. Speaking of female, sorry, I need to mention this.
Please go ahead.
Sorry. I kind of overlooked it. I mean, look at my notes right now. So earlier I mentioned about Hannah Dingley, right?
Yes.
Being appointed and all. But guess what?
Oh, okay.
She is actually not the first female in the whole world of football.
Yeah.
In Hong Kong, all the way in Hong Kong, there was a female coach.
Oh, there was.
That actually not just appointed as the head coach of the men's team, but she won the league, the top league in the Hong Kong Premier League.
In the men's league.
Yes.
And how old is this lady?
She was 28 years old then.
Bluff.
She was the manager of a top flight team in the Hong Kong League, and she won the league. And the team is called the Eastern Sports Club. And her name is Chen Yuan Ting.
Wow.
Yes. That's her name, Chen Yuan Ting. She was only 20 years old then. She was also the first female to coach a men's team in the AFC Champions League, which is the best league in the Asian Confederation. But that was in 2017 and 2016.
Wow.
She won the league in 2016, right? So she played in the Champions League in 2017. So currently she's in charge in China. In charge of a ladies team, Jiangsu Ladies Football Club.
Okay.
Yeah, but if I'm not wrong, she's also one of those. She's one of those that will be involved in the Women's World Cup as a consultant or whatnot. I believe she's there. So yeah, so Hannah is actually not the first, but rather Chen Yuan Ting. So yeah, so some fun fact for you guys.
Now we know the fun fact.
That's right. So yeah, guys, so that wraps up our first episode of the second season. So this episode is a special episode because we're focusing on the transfers. But please, guys, stay tuned. When the season starts proper in mid-August, we'll be back.
We'll be back
with more segments.
With more.
And more predictions, more analysis.
More everything.
Yes. So stay tuned for season 2.
Season 2.
I want to say coming right up.
Yeah, that's why.
Love them back.
I don't know what this guy doing. More.
Yeah. Give me more. I mean, sorry. Let's not go there.
More. No, that's my favorite word. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we cut?